Hi, this is Hector, and today we're going to talk about sketching. We're going to learn how to make it easy and fun. Here's my sketching process. Canvas size is 8" by 8" at 300 dpi because you never know when you need to print it out, and that's happened a few times. And sometimes in my canvas I like to use a grid, and the grid size would be at 200 pixel. I always use an Apple pencil, and the brush I like to use is found in the sketching category. It's a 6B pencil. The color is typically black, size 36%, opacity 100. By the way, what's your favorite brush? It doesn't have to be a sketching brush. Let us know in the comments below. Did I go too fast? Well, it's okay, because I got you covered. When do I sketch? Almost always. Sketching is a great way to shape an idea, especially if we want to bring it to canvas. Now, since we're talking about shapes, look at the sketch. What shapes can you see? Maybe circles, triangles, rectangles, and maybe an oval or two. Of course, the shapes are obvious when we set overlays. But do you think this makes tackling the idea of drawing this dog a bit easier? Well, that's why most sketches start with shapes. So here are just a few benefits. Shapes can help us define proportions, help us avoid getting lost in our own drawing just because we get too caught up in the details, make us better at drawing, and challenge us to draw things we normally wouldn't. In layer 1, I start to sketch. I'll roughly sketch in the shapes, but remember, this is only to set up the framework for the drawings. And now that we have our primary shapes in place, we can move on. Oh, by the way, don't you think it looks like a dog already? So we're moving along. We're going to go and set up the layers. Go up to the top to layers. I'm going to go there. And I'm going to select layer 1 and tap on the N and change the blend mode to multiply. Right up there. Yeah. And drop the opacity to 26%. Sliding to the left. And there we go. Then create a new layer. That's layer 2. Now drag layer 2 underneath layer 1. And the goal is to sketch around the shapes and start creating one shape. I would just kind of shape it real roughly around to give it a shape of a dog. There we go. So I'm going to time lapse this part of the sketch. Oh, let me tell you about my stroke. This is how I'm sketching. My strokes are going to be short, but suggestive. About the brush stroke. Try to keep your brush strokes short and loose. It's not important at this time to focus on details or to try to get the shapes perfectly drawn. A suggestion is okay, and at times we discover the best ideas during the sketching process. If I oversketch, it's okay. It's okay because I'll use my eraser tool to reshape the line. Just make sure you use the same brush that you're sketching with. See, I'm not looking to nail this on the first pass. Nope, I'm only focusing on the major outlines of the drawing. We're not concentrating on the details. Nah, not yet. What's keeping us on point are these shapes. The circle, triangle, rectangle, and ovals. Alright, I think we're ready to go on to the next step. The details. Okay, since I'm happy with this, I'm going to start a new layer and repeat the process. Let's go to layer 2, and we're going to tap on the N, change the blend mode to multiply, drop the opacity into the 20s, 26% is fine. Create a new layer. That's layer 3. And now we're going to drag layer 3 underneath layer 2. Let's start off by turning off layer 1. Keep in mind that layer 3, that's a refining layer. That's when we want to use any tool we can to make our adjustments. Refining layer. In this layer, I'll focus on refining the shape by referencing the previous layer. In order to reduce unnecessary clutter, I turned off layer 1. The brushstrokes will be lighter and more deliberate. Okay, just one thing before we get started with layer 3. Let's go back to layers, tap there. Make sure layer 2 is chosen. That's good. And what we're going to do is we're just going to change the outline just a little bit. If we're happy with it, then we're good to go. If we just want to do a little nip and tuck, this is when you do it. We can start by going to the selection tool. Let's go tap there. And if we wanted to just choose something, make sure it's on freehand. And let's say maybe that we think the head is too big, too small. Then we go to the arrow tool right there. Tap that. And now under freeform, if all we want to do is just play with the width, we can do that. That works really well. If we want to do uniform, there. And we just want to just change everything at the same time. Width and height. This would be it. Let's go back a little bit. If we kind of wanted to move things kind of more in a fluid way, we can tap on warp. And then you get kind of like this mesh pattern right there. And this, the way it works is we can just go ahead and just move things like this. And as you can see, things are moving along with it. But a lot of it moves with it too. So I'm going to go here and you can see how maybe there's some movement going on, maybe in the ear section that we don't want to move. And maybe we do. But if we didn't, we could go to advanced mesh. Tap there once. And now you have a little bit more isolation. So we're kind of trying to move the top of the head. And really the top of the head and the neck really isn't moving that much. And sometimes that is what we need. But if we wanted to be more surgical about it, then we can just go up to the adjustments icon, tap that once, and go to liquefy. There we go. There's only 3 settings that we really have to worry about. That's going to be push, size, 39%, pressure, 26%. And all we're going to do is just push away. And notice that nothing else is moving except for that part that we are pushing. So I like using liquefy when all I want to do is just make just a little bit of an edit, but not affect the entire illustration. All right, to get out of it, I can just tap on the adjustments icon, tap it one more time, it goes away, go back to my brush, and then I can go ahead and start sketching. So let's go to layers, make sure layer 3 is selected. There we go. Okay, we're on the final layer, and this is all about the details. So I'm going to give great attention to details, and what I'm going to be doing differently is I'm going to be tilting my Apple Pencil a lot. Now, when you tilt your pencil, it gives you that pencil shading effect. Now, why is shading important? Because this is going to allow us to plan for lighting too, as we get ready to finish up. And you know what? Let me just finish up this sketch because it may take just a little bit more time. And when I'm done, I'll be right back. All right, well, I'm happy with this. This looks pretty good. I had fun, didn't you? We learned a lot about shading, lighting, sketching around the shapes, and shading with the Apple Pencil. All these things are really going to help us with our art. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you liked it, please press the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Gotta go.